Hello, we're cooking with Grandma Betty again today. Hey, and today we're doing taffy candy. Can you even see both of us together?
Oops, taffy candy.
Taffy candy that our
Like
Grandma Simpson made.
my mama made, but not any recipe books like this.
We know that because we looked around for recipes because we hadn't made it in 100 years. Okay, y'all, so this is going to be hard taffy, like break your teeth off.
No.
Hard taffy candy.
You just put it in your
Mama
mouth and
says
it
no.
dissolves and it's good. It's really, really good.
I always chew my candy so it breaks my teeth.
She doesn't like it. I'll eat every bit of it.
I'm afraid to eat it, but we're going to try. And we cannot guarantee that's going to turn out right, can we, Mama?
You never guarantee anything.
Okay. So there's no guarantee with this episode of Cooking
But we're
with
going to
Grandma
do it
Betty.
like Mama did as far as I can remember, but sometimes I might not remember. But I have sisters, and they don't remember as much as I do about it because they're little children, you know.
All right, here we go. I'm going to flip this around and show you what we've got on the table. All right, tell them what we've got out here,
We've
what we're
got
going to make.
a cup of vinegar. Somebody bought this kind, but you don't use distilled vinegar.
I bought the wrong kind of vinegar, y'all.
You buy regular, normal vinegar, and we've got some kind of vinegar with it says it's got mother in it. Hope the mother is not hurting.
Okay, so what we did was, I'll flip it.
Misunderstood.
I confess I bought the wrong kind of vinegar. I bought white vinegar. I happen to have vinegar with the mother, which, you know, is popular with us healthy people. I have about 3 jars of that vinegar with the mother that I'm supposed to be drinking every day because it's good for me. But I don't drink the stuff because it tastes nasty. Do any of y'all actually drink it? Anyway, we have everything but normal people vinegar. So Mom's a little aggravated about that, aren't you, Mom?
Well, I don't know anything about this kind of mother vinegar. I quite hope they have father vinegar, too.
Okay.
So,
All right.
get back. Have you got that on me?
I do.
Well, use a cup of vinegar, 3 cups of sugar, a tablespoon of vanilla flavoring, and some butter. Mama's recipe said the size of a hickory nut. A lot of y'all probably didn't know what a hickory nut is, but it's about that big. So anyway, that's to put it on your hands when you're pulling it, which will be a little while from now. Yeah, I don't think you put the butter in the vinegar. I mean, while you're cooking, you just put sugar and vinegar. And nobody will want to be in your house when it's cooking. It'll burn their eyes and they'll be complaining. So look out for that.
I'm going to start complaining soon then. All right, so we've got vinegar and sugar, and Mom says she does not think the butter is supposed to go in with this, although there's some debate within our family over that particular point. So we'll see what happens. And I see a cousin is on. Hey, Stephanie, did you make this with Grandma Simpson? We'll see if she answers. I don't know. Let's see. We'll wait and see if she answers. All right, so Mom's got a pot.
Yeah. It's really hard to do because you have to open the pan. Then you have to reach in here.
If any of you have made homemade hard taffy like this, let us know.
And I do measure for this. Uh-oh. That's called putting it on the table.
So I'll say hi to who we have with us right now. It looks like Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie.
One.
She's my cousin, Paulette.
I'm going to do it
Hey.
the way I do it at home.
Of course. Measuring things are for the birds, evidently.
Well, you have to measure this because you wouldn't want it to not be right.
Hi, Pamela and Teresa and Christine. Yeah, that vinegar tastes awful, doesn't it?
Man,
And
so maybe it was,
Brenda,
hey, do you think it could have been 3 cups of vinegar and 1 cup of sugar?
I don't know.
It looks like a lot of sugar.
It's been since I was about 14 years old that I
Okay,
made
then
this.
you pour the vinegar and the sugar. And
So, have you guys ever made taffy candy? If anybody's made it, let us know. I'm just curious about the two Brendas on here, if either one of them have made taffy candy.
But
I wouldn't be surprised.
This northern candy wouldn't taste the same as our southern.
You think so? Oh, you need me to turn that on. All right. Talk to him for a second, Mom.
Okay. The vinegar doesn't look brown enough in the pan. It doesn't smell strong like vinegar, so...
Sorry, I had that on your forehead. They got an up-close view of your forehead for a moment. I was turning
sorry,
it on.
you see my bump up, my little... I have a beauty mark up there. I hope you didn't see that.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt. Here we go.
So we just have to let this get hot and boil, and it boils until it reaches the hard crack stage, which may be, I don't use candy thermometer, so I don't know. Just look on your candy thermometer and it'll say hard crack. But
we looked it up and it was around 300 degrees.
But what I do is put some cold water in a dish.
That's what she's got over here.
But that's not cold. We'll get real cold water when we start. And put some in the spoon out of here, into here, and then pour it. Let it run down. And if you take your hand and touch it, and it'll crack off. It just has a little snap to it.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll know it's ready to take off.
Now, this is the interesting part of this episode, is that we've got to wait on a pot to boil or whatever it's going to do, right?
Yeah, so Melissa could sing or something.
So what are we going to do if you will talk to these people for a minute?
No, what do I talk about?
Here, hold
Let me
it.
see.
There.
Okay, hey everybody.
Talk about making candy with Grandma.
Brittany, your mama didn't remember either. So, I used to make taffy candy, and Mama said when she was a young girl, they had taffy pulling. My arms aren't long enough to get it out of my face. Taffy pulling parties, and they would all get together and make taffy. Their parents probably made the taffy, and then they would pull it. And the part they did was pulling it when they, two pulling it together, or sometimes three would pull it together. We may try that if Michael's willing to help us. So,
all right.
Anyway, hey Christine.
I cannot find the right lid.
Well, that's okay.
Of course, when we have y'all with us, I would not be able to find the right lid for the pot, so I put.
But you don't normally put a lid on it. I just thought since we want to hurry, it would make it heat better. So that's my idea.
Now we're waiting on the sugar and the vinegar to get really hot.
There's somebody said, Susie, it's going to be taffy candy.
Taffy candy.
Like they make in North Carolina. Or in the McCain and Simpson family. It may not be the kind anyone else in the world made.
So I'm going to see if I can view the comments to see if anybody else has made taffy candy.
It's not like the kind you get at the beach that sticks your mouth together.
Oh, yeah, it's not like that.
That's
what do you call it? Saltwater taffy. It's totally not that. It's hard taffy, like break your teeth kind of taffy.
No, it don't break your teeth. You just put it in your mouth and it dissolves and it doesn't break your teeth. You're not supposed to put it under your teeth and crunch it. You're just supposed to put it in your mouth and eat it. Not eat it like chew it. Just let it dissolve in your mouth. It'll be good.
Do y'all remember that commercial about Tootsie Pops? And there's an owl and he's like licking it. And maybe he licks it once or twice and then he crunches it. Well, that's me. So to me, any kind of hard candy is break your teeth candy. So anyway, I was saying hey to who's here. I think I got down to Teresa. Hey, Teresa. And we've got Brenda Pinkerton and Brenda Barnes and Emily. And so, Brenda, you've not made taffy candy. Okay. And hey, Susie and Brittany. Brittany, have you made this with your grandma? Hey, Tanya and Amber and Lynette and Michelle. I'm wondering if any of you guys in your family have a recipe for taffy candy. I feel like somebody does.
Is that Lynette Smith, my friend?
And, no, it's a different Lynette.
Well, you can be my friend.
Mom's best friend Lynette Smith lives in Georgia, and she was hoping that she would jump on here sometime, but I think she's probably seen the recordings. So I don't know how long it takes for this stuff to boil, so it's, or whatever it's going to do, so it's a little awkward right now.
Well, you could sing.
I don't sing. It's doing something though, Mom.
Back when my mom was young, they didn't have all these entertainments you have now, you know, and so taffy pulls were a big thing. Like they get together on the weekend and do taffy pulls. They didn't have TVs or phones stuck in their head all the time, and you know, they just enjoyed each other. They even had dances at homes.
We do sometimes informally.
Dances at homes.
Informally, you and Mike were dancing at breakfast
Well,
the other
that
day.
wasn't dancing. That was me coming in the room and him making me do that and make me look like a monkey.
Oh, goodness.
Now, I'm
Okay.
not going to stir it. I'm just going to move the sugar around just a little bit to make sure it's not scorching, because I don't think you stir it.
And I've got that on high heat, by the way,
Because we're hurrying.
because we're hurrying. So I don't know if that's going to
We just have to cook
Be
it and
good.
cook it and cook it.
cook it and cook it, cook
Till
it.
it gets, if you have a candy thermometer, you know, you could put it in there and get it, let's say hard crack stage.
I cannot find my candy thermometer. I tore up the kitchen earlier looking for it, and it is gone. I can see it in my mind. You know how that is? It's in a drawer somewhere, but I
Okay.
can't seem to find it.
I'm going to
So we
butter
can watch
these
this.
plates. You have to, you have to do this. You
Doesn't
can
take
show-
long for vinegar to get boiling. Okay. So she's buttering the plates.
And you have to have a little bit of butter too.
Are y'all going to be terribly disappointed if our taffy candy is a disaster?
It's going to be good.
So you...
butter your plate real good.
She's just putting butter on the plates.
That's so it won't stick. And when you get ready to pull it, which we'll have to do after it cools, you have to butter your hands real good too. And you have to keep buttering them.
Oh, Brittany, I'm glad to hear you say that you could lose your candy thermometers too, since you're like more of a professional and baker. Yeah, so we're making taffy candy. I saw these people are still joining us. We'd love to hear your stories about making taffy if you happen to have done this before.
Attempting to make taffy candy.
Growing up, we would always go to my grandma Simpson's on Sundays, and it was really fun when we got to do a taffy pull on a Sunday afternoon. And Grandma Simpson must have had really strong arms because she was good at pulling taffy. It actually takes some strength, so we're going to recruit Mike Mender in here later to pull the taffy with us. So maybe this will inspire you guys to try to make candy with your family if you're like us in isolation at the moment.
But be very careful. Hot syrup will burn you, and don't let your children go over there and touch your pan and pull it off the stove. All that stuff, you know.
Okay, that's a good disclaimer. Don't let children put their finger on the stove.
And don't let them reach up there and pull the hot syrup on them, or you'll be making an emergency trip to the hospital.
That's a good word, and we forgot to tell people to wash their hands, but y'all know that,
Yeah,
right?
Wash your hands and you roll up your sleeves or push them up like this.
I've even got my hair pulled back a little bit today because I don't want taffy in my hair.
And when you get it finished, the preparation, you have wax paper and you roll it out and butter it. But Melissa has parchment paper, another thing we didn't ever have back in the day. So I don't know if you're supposed to
I have messed
butter
up
that or
again.
not, but I think we will anyway.
So I got the wrong kind of paper?
Well, wax paper is different from that stuff.
Okay, I just got what was in my cabinet. Sorry, Mom.
But you can use it. It may be better. Who knows?
Okay, I didn't even look at what it was. I just pulled it out from under the sink. Okay, well, let's go see what's going on over here? Ah, it's hot. It's boiling.
Okay, let me go get. I'm gonna get some cold water.
So she's going to get some cold water. We'll watch this boil. So, Mom, why do we not stir it? Do you know?
I don't think you stir candy when it's cooking. It might make it. It may make it turn into. I cannot walk with this.
Mama's spilling water on the floor over there. Okay,
Mama,
here she comes.
I'm sorry I can't walk like a beauty queen and hold it.
You're not wanting to
Daddy.
spill the water.
Maybe we should put this in a cup.
Maybe so. Whoops! It doesn't like me turning the phone.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's cold water. It's
That's
important
cold.
that it's cold.
Yeah, and you can put a little of this in your spoon. You know.
And you said earlier it's important to use 2 spoons for some reason.
Well, I didn't want to put the spoon I'm putting in there because it'd be hot already. If you'll hand me your spoon holder, I can lay this spoon in it.
Oh, excuse me.
Okay, now see, I'm going to put this in here. You do it down in the water and pour it out a little bit. Okay. You see, that's nowhere near. See,
That's drippy.
it's not, yeah, it's sticky. Tastes good though.
All right, and what are we looking for?
For the liquid to form a sheet, and you can pull it and it cracks, like cracks, you know.
Okay.
Sometimes when you're
I
making
wonder how much longer.
7-minute frosting, it spins a thread.
Oh, you're going to play with it and show us the different things.
Yeah, that's spinning a thread now. So if you were making 7-minute frosting, you spin the thread.
I don't know nothing about 7-minute frosting. What's
Or
that?
if you were making jelly, it would come to a. See how that's going off? Jelly, you have to have 2 of those bumps. They all go together and have hard bumps. Making jelly, but we're not making jelly.
We're not making jelly. We're making taffy candy the way my grandma taught my mom to make it. And she's checking it over and over to see whether it gets to the, what'd you call it?
Hard crack stage.
The hard crack stage.
Which it might be 300 degrees, or it might be something else.
Yeah, I Googled it and it said hard crack is 300 to 310 Fahrenheit on the candy thermometer.
See, that's still. You use your fingers a lot.
This may not be hygienic. Did you just lick your finger?
But it tastes good. But it's still not as vinegary. It's not as vinegary as that regular vinegar, because if it was somehow the kind with the mother in it doesn't have the coloring, but I don't know why. I have no clue what that means.
I think Mama thinks I messed this whole thing up because I didn't get the right kind of vinegar. Sorry,
We have
y'all.
to have some reason, something to blame it on. We have to have a reason if it doesn't turn out right.
Scapegoat. I did remember the butter, and then Brenda says, oh yeah, Brenda Pinkerton said she remembers pulling taffy until it turns white. That's exactly what I remember too. And I don't know if I'll ever get it together, Susie.
And wasn't that the best candy you ever ate in your life? It did not break your teeth because you left it in your mouth, didn't you?
Well, I'm just worried it'll break my teeth because I have this bad habit of clenching and grinding at night when I'm stressed about stuff.
No, see,
So I've
it's
got
getting a
cracks in
little
the teeth.
stiff now, but see how it's still running? But it's not cracking yet.
Oh, Brittany wants you to do a video on canning.
Canning, I don't imagine I could find a pressure cooker anywhere in this house. But I can tell you how.
Sorry, I'm a fail on that, y'all. I do not have a pressure cooker. I'm afraid of them. I'll tell you why I'm afraid of pressure cookers. It's because Mama always ran me out of the room when I was a kid and told me that they was going to explode. She would not let me stay in the room. It's the truth.
Well, it was the truth. It would explode. So, who is it wants to know how to can?
Brittany,
Brittany.
your little great niece.
Well, Brittany, just run down the road there to your little grandmother, and ask her, Marlene.
Yeah, she's probably better.
She's supposed to know how to.
I don't know.
Can.
Mama gave us.
Of course, she's the baby. She might not know.
I'm the
Call me
baby
and I'll tell
too.
you how.
Mama gave us jelly she had canned for Christmas the other year, and we've been enjoying eating it while she's here because I like hoard jelly. Mike and I both, we get good jelly. When you have something you like and you hide it from yourself so you don't use it, and then I found jelly she'd given me years ago.
Yeah, blackberry at that was a treat because
Yeah.
I probably never do blackberry jelly again. But if y'all want something better than taffy candy, if you get blackberries and make real old-fashioned blackberry jelly, where you pick the blackberries and your hands get so hurting, and then you get the juice, and then you cook them kind of like this. And then you know when to, then you don't put sugar gel in them. You don't have nearly as much, but it's very good.
Well, we'll do maybe.
Hey, I
Think
hope
about
this-
that another day. Today's
hope
taffy
this-
candy.
If this pandemic stays on until they go pick me some blackberries, then we'll do some.
Okay. Karen, so you can. Karen says she does canning. You have a pressure cooker, I bet.
Karen.
There's a neighbor that has a pressure cooker.
Karen, is that one of your friends?
She's an Exmoor resident.
Well, I mean, we used to can because it was a necessary thing.
But this is just for fun. And it's always been just for fun, right? There's
Not for me.
no nutritional value in this. It's
It
just
is.
pure for fun.
You need some sugar to make your life more happy. You have to have a little bit of sugar to sweeten up a sour disposition. If you feel grumpy in the mornings,
You
just
think?
go find just some sugar,
Oh, that's really good life advice.
especially if it's candy.
Y'all know we haven't been serving Mama any sugar since she's been here.
Hey, newsflash, Mike made some biscuits the other night.
Yeah. We did the whole 30 in January, so we had been used to not having sugar or bread.
Okay, let me
And then
see.
Mom came to visit, and she didn't know what had happened to us. Are you going to try again?
So see, it's getting thicker. See, can you see that?
Ooh, oh, that's a good shot there.
But it's not brittle because it's still goopy.
It's goopy.
It's gonna be more solid.
Okay. So Karen cans without a pressure cooker. Interesting.
You have to cook it a long, long time, don't you? You can can hot water bath things like acid things like tomatoes.
Oh, and Brittany, yeah, I get you about worried about germs, especially these days, huh?
Well, we don't have any germs in this house. What's you worried about germs right now? Kim?
No, she's talking about with canning, like that you have to be careful with food prep, always about germs.
Oh.
We're boiling the germs out of this. There is no coronavirus in that. They would be dead. Don't you think this taffy candy is going to be safe?
Well, now, if you canned and you didn't cook it the right amount of time, you might have germs because it was spoiled. But you would know it's spoiled because the center of the jar, when you can it, if it doesn't go down, if it's popped up, like that, that's not good to eat.
So the canning tips are a bonus on this taffy candy episode.
Or if you have tomatoes and they've kind of popped out and coming out the side and they smell real bad, they're spoiled too.
Now, I want to ask you something, Mom.
What?
Didn't you say earlier that we're really not supposed to be making taffy today because you said
It's
you're
raining.
supposed to make it on a day where there's no rain, and there was something else?
I didn't. I read this extended, long time ago recipe that my sister sent me, and it said make it on a clear day where there was sunshine, but then the recipe also said take it out when it was very cold outside and let it cool in the cold.
So this is a wintertime
So
thing.
I guess you make it for Christmas.
Okay, that would make sense. So this would be a good Christmas time thing to do with your family, but it's not Christmas, so we're
See,
we're
it's
doing
getting
it.
more solid yet, but it's still not enough. See,
So that's still droopy, not cracky.
mm-hmm.
It's pretty to watch boil. So with this, instead of worry about stirring this pot, you just worry about testing the
Well, Mama
consistency.
didn't. She just knew when it was done.
Grandma just knew.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder how often Grandma Simpson made taffy candy growing up.
Mm-hmm. Probably, I don't know. Pretty. Well, we had it at Christmas time most of the time, and then she'll make it sometimes just because she wanted to, because it was good. You can't buy candy like that because the taffy candy you buy has a lot of other stuff in there. See how it's getting solid now?
Okay,
see
I got away from it, and she wants to tell you.
See there?
So it's getting closer, huh?
But see, it's still wiggled. It doesn't break. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And all that is sugar and vinegar, right?
Right.
And it's, what do we put? 3 cups of one and
3 cups of sugar and 1 cup of vinegar.
3 cups of sugar, 1 cup of vinegar. Didn't
Not-
even stir
not
it or
white
anything.
vinegar,
Here
not
it is.
white vinegar.
Oh, but it's not the right kind of vinegar, so this may be a disaster.
No, I think it's going to be fine. Look now. I can even pull it off the. See, you want to show them this?
Okay.
I can pull that off of the spoon already. See, that's probably a soft boil edge right there, and some recipes tell you to use that.
But we don't want goopy, chewy taffy candy.
No.
What our family has made historically has been hard taffy candy. So if you want goopy taffy candy, you'd just be done with it sooner, right?
I don't know about that kind.
Because we've never made that. So that candy you buy at the beach, that saltwater taffy, is not this. This is totally different and
It's not even
simpler
first
recipe.
That's not even first cousins to this.
Not even first cousins. All right.
It's just something you buy at the beach because you think it's good, and it doesn't even taste good.
Hey, Carrie Medlin.
Hey, Carrie.
My little niece. Well, we are making taffy candy, Carrie. And I know you're married into the family, and you need to know that historically, us Medlin youngins made this at Grandma Simpson's house. At least a couple of times, probably a year maybe. What do you think?
But not at my house.
At Grandma Simpson's house.
So your grandmother probably knows how to make it, Carrie. Okay, now it's getting closer.
Ooh,
See
it's
now.
getting closer. We're looking for that hard crack.
See, it's still bendable though.
So when you say hard crack, you're not kidding. You don't
No.
want it to bend. And here's what we've got sitting over there. But that's not good enough. We're still waiting.
I'm gonna have it all into this one.
Here we go again. And that's cold water she's putting that into. But I wonder if the water's cold anymore. Because we've been doing this for a while.
Well, Mama just used a cup of water. Back then you didn't have a machine to get cold water out of. Okay, I'm thinking it's getting about there.
Ooh, it's about done. So exciting. Just getting more. We're making taffy candy, y'all, the way that my grandma made it, and my mom, who's here, Grandma Betty. And we're looking for the hard crack stage.
Okay. Do you see that? How that just cracked? Do you see that cracked?
Did it crack? Can we do it again?
Okay.
Because I got something came up on my phone, a little pop-up, so I didn't catch it really. All right. What's going on there, Mom?
It's getting hard in the water.
So how long do you leave it in the water? I mean, you're just...
You can tell if it's getting hard. Okay, now I watch.
Woo!
See
Okay.
how, okay.
Oh, you heard it crack,
You hear
right?
it crack.
So we've got to the hard crack stage.
See, you hear that little crack and it cracks off. See?
All right.
Okay.
We're getting her done. So exciting. All right.
Okay.
I've zoomed in, and now I can't zoom out, so I'm going to flip. Making progress.
This is when you make sure there's no children under your feet or running around or anything.
Oh my, this is scary. Mom is carrying this really hot pan.
It's surprising. They think I'm too old to do things, but I'm carrying a hot pot with hot stuff in it.
And she's
you pour
pouring
it.
this stuff
You pour it like,
into my plate. It's not going to break my plate, is it?
I hope not.
I hope not to. Wouldn't be the end of the world, though. I can't see y'all's comments anymore. I don't know what I did when I touched this thing, but so we're making taffy candy, and we mixed up 3 cups of sugar and 1 cup of vinegar and put it on the stove until it got to this hard crack stage. And she's pouring it into buttered plates. And these plates came from the Exmoor Emporium right downtown Exmoor. I put in a plug for them. I like my little flower plates.
Okay.
That's pretty.
Now, I think you cut it.
Isn't that beautiful? I can't see your comments. It's making me sad. Okay, the comments went away. Ah, maybe they'll come back.
Well, I don't know how to
But we're
I don't know how to
working
put
on this
stuff up.
taffy candy thing.
Okay, now
Here she
you
goes.
put vanilla flavoring.
Oh, forgot about that. I wonder if I turned off the comment feature or something.
Melissa has homemade vanilla flavoring. She had to go climb up a vanilla tree and get a vanilla pod. So it takes 1 tablespoonful for all of them, so I just put about a third of a tablespoon in each one. You just pour it in the middle. Hey, that don't look purple.
You poured it in the middle?
Mhm.
I'm sad that I turned off the comment feature for some way or another. Sorry about that, y'all.
Okay, now you have to wait for it to cool.
You just poured that vanilla flavoring on top of it, and
Mhm.
that's that. Is it integrate throughout, like on its own?
It will when you mix it up and do it up. So you have to wait till it gets cool. It'll start cooling around the edges, and you can. Well, Mama's bowls are a little bit wider, so they had an edge on them. You could tell. See how it gets thick in there.
Now, how long is that going to take for
I
it to
don't
cool?
know.
Should we come back when we're ready to pull it? Because I've got to go find Mike Minder to help us pull.
It'll be a little while before it gets cool enough, but you just have to keep watching because you don't want it to get cold or you can't pull it. So you have to have your hands clean and a lot of butter available. And now we can butter the paper to put it on. And then when you get it pulled, you pull it out in a rope, up and down, up and down, up and down. And
Okay.
then when it cools, you break it off. But hopefully we'll have some white taffy candy for you to see later.
Okay, so we're going to show them the pulling as well, but we're going to take a break. And Mama washed my hands real good and run down my husband wherever he is around the house.
She washed them before we started this first thing too.
I did
Don't
that.
mean she didn't wash them first.
I haven't been touching the food though. Anyhow, we'll come back in just a little bit, so stay tuned.
Bye everybody.
See you in a bit.